Ruben Amorim close to the sack at United. Liverpool chasing record move for Isak. Vinicius stuns Real with contract snub. And Spurs plotting to steal Javi Simons off Chelsea. All that and loads more in today's episode. Smash 350 likes on this video and I'll get to work on the next episode immediately. No waiting around. Now let's dive into today's transfer rumors. Alexander Isak looks closer than ever to Liverpool. And it's not just about tricky transfer talks. The Swede has quit full training with Newcastle, working alone instead, sending a loud message he wants out. His deal runs to 2028, but he's basically said no to Eddie Howe's project. Liverpool already have personal terms wrapped up. That's the big step. The player's on board. The club's on board. Now it's all about convincing Newcastle, and that's the headache. They want £150 million, and so far bonuses haven't moved the needle. Liverpool's first offer, £110 million plus extras, got binned straight away. As usual, just the opening move. According to Team Talk and Football Insider, the Reds are in touch with Isak and his camp every single day, determined to push this through. The second bid is ready, £130 million with improved bonuses. FSG reckon it's enough. They believe the add-ons now look much more attractive and that Newcastle will crack. But the big doubt remains. Will Liverpool raise the base fee at all, or just keep dressing it up with bonuses? Pundits rate Isak a lot lower, somewhere between £85 million and £99 million. Yes, the valuation went up this summer, but still miles off the crazy £150 million Newcastle want. From their side, it makes sense. He's under contract. He's central to the team, no rush to sell. But now, with Isak cutting ties and refusing group sessions, Newcastle's stance looks shakier. Liverpool smell the chance and lean on player pressure. With the window ticking down and Isak desperate to get out, the odds rise. The only question, will £130 million, even with fancy bonuses, get it done? This has gone from normal interest to all or nothing. And if it lands, it won't just be a big signing, it'll be one of the costliest in Liverpool's history. Vinicius Jr. is once again at the center of conflict with Real Madrid. The club hoped to sign a new contract this summer, but the Brazilian's demands derailed the talks. He wants terms equal to or higher than Mbappe's, around €25 million per year, including bonuses. For Real, that's a red line. Last season began with Vinicius as the main star of Madrid's attack, but by spring Mbappe had taken over. That's when rumors of a Saudi Arabia move surfaced. At the same time, it was reported that both sides had agreed on a new deal. But soon after, his camp raised their demands and everything stalled. Some of you and I still can't find common ground. I give you the content and you sneak in like it's incognito mode. So how about we seal this silent deal? You smash subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll keep digging up the spiciest transfer rumors for you. Fair trade, right? And no €25 million bonuses needed. According to El Chiringuito, Real are even ready to take extreme measures. If Vinicius doesn't reduce his demands, the club could let him go for free, rather than breaking their wage structure. The situation is serious. His contract still has 2 years left, but waiting until next summer is risky. Free agency would be too close. Cadena Ser add that both parties have agreed to pause talks and focus on the season, resuming negotiations at the end of the year. But the longer they delay, the weaker Real's position becomes. They know he has a huge market value but don't want to sell cheaply. The outcome is clear. Either Vinicius accepts Real's terms and stays, or the club gamble by letting one of their biggest stars go. Right now, positions are hard. The player wants €25 million, Real refuse. Negotiations are frozen, and tensions are rising. Tottenham have hit the accelerator. The club have tabled a £60 million bid for Javi Simons and look determined to push it through before the window closes. While Chelsea were waiting for the perfect moment, Spurs moved without warning. Straight daylight robbery mode. At one point it seemed certain Simons would be landing at Stamford Bridge. He made no secret of his admiration for the Blues, and Chelsea were his priority all summer. But time waits for no one. While Chelsea debate who to offload to make space, Spurs quietly sent in the offer. Leipzig approved, Simons skipped training and flew, not for a holiday, but straight to London for talks. Meanwhile, Chelsea still haven't made an official bid, only chatter and social media hype. Spurs, as Sky Germany report, came in with the exact £60 million Leipzig wanted. Perfect timing for Thomas Frank. Maddison is sidelined, and Simons can play both as a number 10 and out wide. Effectively, a Madison clone. That's what Frank has been asking for all summer. More spark up front. Even if this move goes through, Tottenham won't stop. They're already chasing another attacker. This isn't, "we're happy with what we've got" talk. They want to keep pushing. Relations with Leipzig are warm after Werner's loan, so no issues on that side. The real threat is Chelsea, still in touch with the player. But Spurs have seen this story before. Arsenal got stuck in "we need to sell first" mode with Eze, and it ended in chaos. This time, Spurs didn't wait. They acted instantly, not bothering with Chelsea's delays. Xavi Simons is already in London, and the momentum points towards Tottenham. Rodrigo is being pushed into a corner. At Real Madrid, he's already losing his place, and now, with Brazil, things are going against him too. Carlo Ancelotti left the forward out again and spoke bluntly at his press conference. "I haven't spoken to him. He knows perfectly well what the Brazil national team is. To be called up, you need to play and be in form. I don't need to explain that personally. If he needs clarification, he can call me. He has my number." Plain and simple. It's starting to feel personal. Not calling Neymar can be understood, but what has Rodrigo done? The roots may go back to when Ancelotti was directly in charge of the team, and now it looks like a matter of principle. Quick pause, friends. Leave a like or a dislike on this episode. Any reaction helps. Thank you for your support. It really helps the channel. Amid all this, word emerged that Rodrigo has submitted a transfer request from a serious source, The Athletic, which makes a move to the Premier League sound more realistic. He's most often linked with Liverpool, though Manchester City have been mentioned as an option. The problem is Guardiola's fierce competition up front. The newcomers have already taken minutes, and breaking in won't be easy. Rodrigo himself remains silent. No comments, no hints, as if advised not to add fuel to the fire. Xabi Alonso says he counts on the Brazilian, but from the outside he's starting less and less. With every match, his role at Real shrinks, and his status fades. So the question isn't whether he should leave, but when and where. There's still time before the window closes, and clubs willing to take Rodrigo will appear quickly. Things at Real aren't improving, and waiting for a miracle seems pointless. Milan are making a late push for a big name, and it's Christopher Nkunku. They've already made contact with Chelsea, and the plan is simple. Fix the gap in attack before Monday. And honestly, the Frenchman looks like the perfect fit. He's ready to move too, and that matters. Bayern, Leipzig, Villa have all been linked this summer, but now, per Fabrizio Romano, Milan are in, and the Athletic say talks have already kicked off. The signs from Chelsea are obvious. Nkunku wasn't even in the squad for the first 2 games against Palace and West Ham. Both sides want a permanent deal. Loan is just a backup plan. Price tag? About 50 million euros, way down from the 70 million euros quoted in January. For Milan, the timing's spot on. They sped up their striker hunt after Victor Boniface's medical collapse. They need impact right now. The problem? His wages, around 20 million euros in London, and Serie A clubs don't pay that by default. So it's either compromise on terms, or bonuses, or maybe even a swing back to Leipzig, where he's still adored. For Chelsea, selling makes sense with Maresca's rebuild. Nkunku came in as a Bundesliga star, but injuries and tactical reshuffles kept him from getting momentum in a packed attack. Sure, they lose creativity, but 50 million euros means freed wages and a cleaner front line. So here's the finish line. If Milan solve the wage issue, it's a huge addition. If not, Leipzig might swoop back in. And with the deadline looming, this saga's about to get wild. Ruben Amorim is basically on the edge. All signs point to Manchester United getting ready for another reset. And this time, the board aren't hiding. They're openly scanning big names. Fichajes insists his sacking after this dreadful start is only a matter of time. And you'd believe it. Losing to Grimsby Town isn't just a dent in pride. It's humiliation across the whole country. United blew nearly £200 million this summer on building a new attack, on upgrades, on results. And what did they get? League Cup embarrassment and bottom of the table. 1 point from 2 games. Beaten by Arsenal, held by Fulham. Brilliant start, right? The Grimsby disaster tipped it over. 2-2 in 90, then dumped on pens. A 4th division club sending Amorim's project to the bin. His reaction only made it worse, saying the better team won, saying something must change, saying the players were too loud. But seriously, what's he even doing in the United dugout? Fabrizio Romano reckons those sharp comments might speed up the board's call. And word is, the Burnley clash is the last chance. Failed to win, and he's officially out before the September break. The snag? They don't want to swing the axe without a name ready. Lopetegui and Zidane are already being floated. No talks yet, but options are being checked. No one sane sacks a coach into thin air, especially when the whole project was built around him. By the way, my channel's a project too, and I don't want it to collapse like Amorim's United stint. If you're watching, it means you care a bit. So do me a favor, hit subscribe. Unlike United, it won't cost you a thing. Thing is, that project was built blindfolded. Amorim's only got 7 league wins at United, just 4 of them against teams still in the Premier League. The rest? Trivia for the record books. Now it all hangs on one game. If they don't win, no, we feel sorry for the fans, we'll cut it. Because this isn't just shame, it's something deeper. And every game now feels like United are sliding straight into another season of failure. Only this time, there's no comedy in it.